Does your neurodivergent child explode when they're angry? Or maybe they cry and scream over the tiniest thing. Or maybe you have a bolter who takes off and hides. Oh, maybe your child just stares at you blankly and refuses to respond. So frustrating. Now, if you have any of these situations happening, you are not alone because every kid has that go to response that they do when they're angry or overwhelmed or frustrated, or even just when things don't go their way. And we as parents want to totally accept our neurodivergent kids for who they are, and we want to support them where they're at. But sometimes their responses aren't safe or are just really not helping the situation at all. So, over the next 5 minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to recognize what your neurodivergent child does when they lose control and why they do it. Plus, I'll be sharing how to use this natural response in a healthy way when they're angry. Even if you've tried to teach them to take a deep breath or use their words and nothing seems to get through to them. Oh, and to make this wicked simple for you, I'm going to share my coping strategies cheat sheet. So this cheat sheet has options for pretty much every response out there so that you can start implementing this today. This cheat sheet was made for my private clients, but I'm going to share it with you since you're taking the time to watch this video. So drop me a line below. I'll send it to you over Messenger. But if we haven't met already, hey friend, Kayleen here. I'm a neurodivergent mom of 6 neurodivergent kids. And what I do is empower parents of neurodivergent kids to become the architect of their neuro family so that they create it by design instead of default. Now, in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to share exactly how to use your child's natural response to stress to help them react in a healthy way, so that they can stay regulated and you don't have to deal with the frustrating behaviors. So to do this, I use what I call the 4F responses. Now, I want to warn you, you may have heard about these or at least some of them before, but I teach this in a slightly different way. So you're going to want to pay attention. So the 4Fs are fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. These are the things that our brain tells our body to do when we encounter stress. And most of us have one dominant response that is our go-to. Now, it's all good and well to know that your child hits you because their brain told them to. But that alone doesn't stop them from, hitting. So what most people do is they teach their child, instead of hit, take a deep breath or use their words. But when your brain tells you hit something, and then you take a deep breath, it leaves your brain to be like, hello, I said hit, not what are you doing? I said hit. So instead, what we want to do is help your child find an alternative to their natural 4F response that fills that same purpose for the brain, okay? So if your child naturally hits, we're going to give them something that isn't a human or an animal to hit. If your child freezes and stares at you, we're going to help them to take a minute to calm down, right? If your child bolts, we're going to give them a safe place to run to instead of just something they're running away from. And if your child immediately apologizes to anyone, even though they don't have anything to apologize for, we're going to give them a script to apologize and share their view or opinion so that they don't get walked over, okay? Now, I want to be so clear. As a society, we have glorified the ability to take a deep breath as the ultimate good person way to handle stress. But I don't buy into that. I think it's just as valid to need to scream as it is to need a breath. But that doesn't mean that we have to scream mean things at someone, right? Because the reality is, when we try to give our child coping strategies that go against their natural 4F response, we're setting them up for failure. And it's only going to end in them and us being super frustrated. So you want to think about your child's natural 4F response, then get granular. What does it look like for them, right? Are they hitting? Are they screaming mean words? And then finally, find a coping strategy and try it out that fills the same need as their natural response. And remember, drop me a line below and I'll send you over that cheat sheet that has tons of coping strategies for each of the 4F responses, depending on how your child presents them. So you don't have to do this work from scratch. I'll send it to you in Messenger and you can try out a new coping strategy today. Just drop me a line below.